I've just finished recording that video and realised I didn't plug the microphone in. In this video, I'm going to talk about photographic motivation. I recently reached out to you asking for some questions and you all came back with really good questions, but I couldn't answer them all. But this one I did answer, but I feel that I didn't really do a good job on it because I didn't really look at the context behind the question. I was asked about how I stay motivated, and me being me, I answered how I stay motivated, and I'm just motivated. I'm absolutely caffeinated to the eyeballs 24/7, always working. But then I realised that whilst you guys were asking me these questions, you were more asking it from your point of view, so rather than being the narcissist that I've been, I'm going to try and help a little bit in explaining some ways to stay motivated. So I had a look at who was asking me, and the majority of people who asked this question, it did come up a lot. Actually, it was the most popular question. We're from the UK and we've just hit the most depressing 6 months of the year. It's the autumn, spring and winter sandwich where everything's grey, wet and bleak. There's not a great deal of motivation to get out there and do stuff. I mean, it's not a great deal of motivation to get out of bed some days when it's like this. Especially when you get 6 or 8 weeks in a row where it's not really raining, it's just wet. It's not cold, it's just not warm. It's just grim and it's really depressing. However, there are other reasons as well why I think some of the people who ask this question are feeling unmotivated, or demotivated is probably the right word. Unmotivated? Demotivated. You're lacking motivation. Now, I used to be an athlete, and I think this is very true from a sporting background, especially my particular sporting background, and I learnt these lessons then. You have to move on. When I used to be a cyclist, I stayed at a particular club for 3 years when I should have left after a year. Once you have reached the level or the limit to what these people can offer, and this is assuming you're actually trying to progress. Some people, if you want to do it for fun, do it for fun. Don't go hardcore on this. There's no point in going like really all out hardcore, must progress if it's just a hobby. But if you're looking to really sort of, get as good as you possibly can be, then you need to move on. Once you've reached a level where you go, yeah, I can do this, it's not really challenging. I know what's going to happen. It's the same thing all the time. Move on. And I think this is true for several stages in your photographic life. When you start out, you join a camera club. If you haven't learned everything there is to learn within 2 years at a camera club, you're probably just doing it for fun and you're not really, putting the work in. 2 years in, you should be able to know everything that everybody knows at a camera club. At which point you need to move on. If you like it for the social scene, go for the social scene, but don't see it as a way to get better or to do new things. There's like tiers, as it were, in anything. It's like when I was a cyclist, I joined a club. But after a while, the club wasn't offering me what I needed, so I joined a team. Then I joined a better team and a better team. And if I'd have stayed at that club the whole time going, I don't understand why we're doing the same things and not getting better, I would obviously have just got bored, demotivated and given in. And the same is true for photography. When I started in Leicester, there was the Leicester People's Photographic Gallery. It was a hive of activity. It was brilliant. There were loads of people there, and the best 3 or 4 photographers sort of sat at a level where there were sort of jobbing photographers, but not particularly, out and out pro photographers, which is no disrespect to them. They were happy in what they were doing. They enjoyed their lifestyle. They had a pretty nice life going on. But I wanted more, so I had to go, right, well, I've reached this level now. I'm the same as these people. I need to go do something else because I'm not going to get better staying here. But that's not to say that I didn't still go there to socialise. I still went there to socialise, but I started putting different things in place. Which leads me to the second way to stay motivated, and that is to have very clear-cut goals. If your aim is to become a better photographer, you're not going to get there. You need to break it down. So at the moment, personally, I'm working on my lighting again. Now, my lighting is actually my strongest card, and I'm a firm believer of working on what you're best at and forgetting everything else, but that's another video altogether. Anyway, so once you've decided your goal, you need to then break it down into little goals and then work your way along there. If you want to be a great portrait photographer, you might be looking at working out the quickest way to get a complete novice to pose well. You might be looking at the best way to achieve brilliant skin tones in camera. Whatever it may be, you need that goal, and then when you've completed it, you need your next goal. And these little goals should be building towards the big goal, which is perhaps becoming a professional portrait photographer. But you need to break that down into smaller goals for you to stay motivated, because becoming a better photographer or a better portrait, better food photographer is not a goal that you're going to achieve. So I know this is a slightly different video to usual, but I thought it was worth addressing. If you do have any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll try and do more of this Q&A sort of thing because I think it's useful. If you're asking it, obviously there's more than one person that wants to know the same thing. If you're enjoying the content, do hit subscribe, do share this with your friends. Still very new to this, still learning the ropes, making lots of mistakes along the way, like forgetting to turn the microphone on. And I'll see you all next time.